Dual camera smartphones are all the rage, and the Huawei P9 was one of the first smartphones to really push the boundaries on what one could expect from such a setup. Although the implementation is slightly different, the new P20 Lite also features a dual camera setup that we have pitted against the Redmi Note 5 Pro, which is arguably the current dual camera champion in this segment. This is Sandeep from Rev Atlas, and here are my thoughts. P20 Lite has a 16MP f2.2 camera with a secondary 2MP depth sensor, while Note 5 Pro has a 12MP f2.2 1.25 micron sensor with a secondary 5MP f2 1.12 micron depth sensor. In terms of image quality, the dynamic range is noticeably better on the P20 Lite as seen in these situations. However, the HDR mode on the Note 5 Pro has a more aggressive algorithm that does give it an edge at times, but it still does produce images that are a bit underexposed when doing so, something that Xiaomi is yet to correct. However, in terms of details rendered, the Note 5 Pro holds on to more details and the resulting file sizes are also larger despite the lower resolution. In terms of colors, the P20 Lite is generally more vibrant and warm, while the Note 5 Pro has a tendency to undersaturate colors as well as provide cooler tones. But overall, the performance from both are pretty similar and it's tough to pick a clear winner between the two. In terms of low-light photography too, the results are quite similar, but the P20 Lite holds on to more detail here, albeit at the cost of more noise. The Redmi Note 5 Pro images have lesser noise, but the processing washes away some of the details. The P20 has better sharpness in both highlights and shadows, but the colors are rendered more accurately on the Note 5 Pro, while it's a bit washed out on the P20 Lite. Quite the reverse of what we got during daytime samples. The HDR mode on the P20 Lite helps a lot in low-light situations, and you get much better results than without the HDR mode. So if you're using a P20 Lite, you may want to make use of the HDR mode not just in well-lit situations, but in low light too. When it comes to a portrait mode, the P20 Lite holds on to more detail and has better dynamic range where the highlights are kept in control. However, the Note 5 Pro zooms in a bit and that gives it a more forced perspective, which elevates the shallow depth of field effect. The portrait mode on the P20 Lite is very subtle, but the wide aperture FX mode allows you to get more blur and it converts highlights into bokeh balls as well. It can go from f.95 to f16, but between f2.4 and f4 is pretty much the sweet spot for good detailing as well as shallow depth of field. At the front, there's a 16MP f2 camera on the P20 Lite, while Redmi Note 5 Pro has a 20MP f2.2 1x2.8 inch 1 micron sensor. The P20 Lite captures more detailed photos despite having a lower resolution sensor, and the image colors are more natural as well as have better contrast. The Note 5 Pro has more washed out colors and the detailing isn't as good, but still pretty great on its own. The Note 5 Pro also has an advantage with the HDR mode on the front facing camera, while there is no HDR capability on the front camera for the P20 Lite. When it comes to a portrait mode, the blurring is great on both, but the algorithm is better defined on the Note 5 Pro in terms of edge detection. It even gets the ears done properly, while the P20 Lite blurs out some neater portions of your face and features. Video recording maxes out at 1080p with both the front and rear facing cameras on both. However, the Note 5 Pro has EIS on the rear camera and Xiaomi has been promising a 4K update for a while now. Dynamic range is better on the P20 Lite. It has slightly lesser noise and is also much quicker in terms of adjusting the exposure, but in terms of stability, Note 5 Pro is better and you also have options for flicker reduction. P20 Lite also exhibits similarly lower noise levels on the front-facing camera video, as well as more neutral colors, and stability is the same on both since there is no EIS up front. You do get an option to enable EIS on the Note 5 Pro, but it actually doesn't get enabled. This is the front-facing camera of the Redmi Note 5 Pro capturing 1080p video with the front-facing camera. Let me know what you guys think about the sharpness, the detailing, the contrast, how well it's picking up my voice, the dynamic range, etc. And we're doing it at night, and we're actually over a bridge in the middle of a busy highway that connects both sides of the road, both sides of the highway, and this will probably help us get a better understanding of how it performs in low light as well. You know, in daylight conditions, both of these would perform pretty well, but in low light, things could change up a bit, so this would give a better understanding on what you can expect. So this is the front-facing camera on the P20 Lite capturing full HD video. Let me know what you guys think about the overall image quality, the sharpness, the detailing, as well as how it's picking up my voice. We're actually standing on a bridge that connects two sides of a road in the middle of a busy highway, so there might be some noise around, but I just wanted to check how it is. And also, for a change, instead of shooting it in broad daylight, why not do it under low light to test the low light capabilities of the camera as well. It's actually really tough to pick a winner between these two. If you're someone who vlogs or makes a lot of videos, then the Redmi Note 5 Pro is a clear winner with EIS and possibility of 4K in the future. However, with better low-light capabilities and more detailing, as well as better colors, the P20 Lite may suit many needs. And for others, the better blurring algorithm in portrait mode may also make the Note 5 Pro worthwhile. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next one.